All
Okay,
right.
now go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Fever Swamp, the Arksmyth's journey.
Quest.
We are at a new quest journey. It works out.
Adventure.
So we're at a different time slot than usual this week, as my school schedule is not allowing Wednesdays to work as well as any of us had hoped. It's possibly still going to be off and on. We'll have to see, but I have a lot of hope that we'll be able to keep it going consistently at this new time period. So, as a quick recap, so
Biggest
far,
bad in all of D&D. Scheduling.
yep, it's like time stops, a ninth level spell. But so far, our heroes have departed on their journey, seeking to travel from here in the Galata Peaks all the way over to here at Nearder Boulder. To do so, they decided to travel to Clink, then around to the Tower of Archmage Gerhardt, where they took some time, then up to Elmnook, where they were accosted for refusing to pay their inn fees and being hobos. From there, they traveled north.
Peaceful,
Then up,
non-murdering hobos.
be that as it may be. Oh, there was also some adventures down here in the mountains that we're not going to talk about, apparently. Uh, they were diverted north to bring a couple of orphaned boys to their uncle's tavern before finally making the way to Rankburn Castle, where the paladin has entered into a tournament. The jousting went quite well, and he's placed among the finalists. Tomorrow morning, he fights his first battle against Gareth of Rausbach, uh, a veteran of the recent Demon Wars in the Barony of Rausbach. The weather today is unpleasant. The wind howls, and rain picks up and then drops off. Tent flaps seem to be getting soaked and flap in the wind. Most people are looking for places to be indoors, but Rankburn does not have sufficient spaces for all of the people who've come to the festival. What are each of you hoping to do on the night before the bout? Let's start with Ulfgar.
Um, I think since he already did what he wanted to in in this festival and tournament and everything, he's mostly going to be focused on finding a spot in a bar and not leaving it.
All right, that is a bit of work, but you do eventually find yourself
He
at a
is
bar.
not above using spells to clear space, by the way.
What spell are you thinking of using?
Not offensive ones, just uh, annoying people out of their spaces. Prestidigitation, maybe a little bit of grease here and there.
All right, roll either stealth or deception to get away with that.
Perfect. Let's see. I'm terrible at both of those, so this is going to be great.
It's not awful, and in a crowded tavern, worse things have happened. The innkeep doesn't understand, but you are eventually able to clear out a space at the Rankburn File, a small tavern sit beneath a set of apartments between a couple of shops. It's not a very nice tavern. It's certainly a very packed tavern, and far from the most expensive in the city. But they weren't charging you just to get through the door. That's what really mattered. All right. How about Steinigan? What is Steinigan doing on this night? We'll come back to Steinigan, I suppose.
God dang it. Steinigan is here. Steinigan is just an idiot. Steinigan is going to spend some more time carousing with the nobles, just making friends and merriment and making sure that it. Well, I suppose he's already made sure that nothing ill is going to happen to anyone's reputation.
All right. Most of the local noble or non-local nobles, the travelers, are staying at the Stagmoot Inn, a lovely establishment that will charge you 10 gold pieces to walk through the front doors.
That's not terrible. Although I think I'm pretty sure I invested all of my money into the group or something since I literally don't have any. But
How's the party fund looking?
Sala was keeping track of the party fund.
I know that we had 500, and I only purchased, I think, 3 or 4 spells with that, so we should have quite a bit.
very well. It's only 10 gold. I'm sure we'll find a way to recoup that quickly enough.
If you need to come to the Orc for a loan later, fancy nobleman, I have that much.
All right. Well, the stag mood is lovely. A number of the competitors are actually present tonight. You can see that Lady Errol of Elm Nook is here, as is Areneolus, Prince of the Windy Sea. Two of the more difficult competitors that Gambold expects to face in the tournament ahead. A number of other prominent nobles are here, including Sir Ulrich, who's managed to find himself a table and flags you down.
I will go to him and greet myself, or greet him, and introduce myself to anyone who I haven't met yet.
All right. Yeah, you chat with him for a few minutes. He's going to ask you some questions, but you'll have an opportunity to get up and carouse a little bit around the room. Ah, terrible weather for this, isn't it? Yes.
It is, but it's not something that we have terribly much control over yet.
We could have asked a wizard, but I suppose sometimes you have to fight in the rain. Well, you have to. I would have had to, but who am I kidding? I wouldn't have placed in the finals. Your friend certainly fights well.
He is quite the fighter. It prides me to fight alongside him.
Why do you suppose he's interested in all of this anyway? An orc fighting for the honor of Cornerstown? It seems a little strange. Just the gold, do you think?
A bit the gold, but the orcs have a strong sense of honor, and he is no exception. We saw an opportunity where we could help, and we decided to help.
Huh. Oh, it's a strange story, all right. Here, I'm gonna go see to their wine cellar, pick something nice. I'll be back in a few. You patted your shoulder twice, got up, heading over to accompany the innkeep downstairs, insisting upon looking it over himself. So most of the figures here are just passing nobles of no particular note. Did you have any interest in talking to either of the two major competitors? Well, two of the three. Gareth of Rousbach is not here drinking tonight, but then he wouldn't. He's got a bout tomorrow.
Oh, that's all well and good. I'll go ahead and talk to the ones I can.
All right. Aeolus wears much finery, including a fine silken cape. Seems to be enchanted against the weather, showing no signs of being wet, although portions of his outfit still are. His boots, for example. He must have come in recently. With nod and said, Do you get rain on the mountains, dwarf?
Uh, well, not in them, but certainly on them, yes. Up at the higher altitudes, it only snows, though.
Seems familiar and like home to me. Get a lot of rain out on the Windy Sea. What brings you to Rankburn? Please have a seat and join us. Lady Errol nodded, seeming a little less impressed. But then Elmnook was closer to the mountains, and you imagine that R and Aeolus might not have seen a dwarf before.
Could you repeat that?
What
My,
brings you to Rankburn?
A quest for another noble. A was a wizard, an Arksmyth. Uh, we must go to an old, forgotten, abandoned uh, mountain home to
Never
retrieve
forgotten.
something. Never forgotten.
Dwarves don't
Uh,
forget.
well, seems like an interesting errand, but I'm glad you could make the festival with it at least. I'm just here traveling to compete, you know. Pride of the island and all that. It's my first year in attendance here. It seems to be a bit easier than I thought it would be, but nothing too tremendous.
It's obviously our first year too. Uh, but yes, it does seem like quite the simple affair, but certainly entertaining. And
I
I'm
suppose.
sure my companion who is actually fighting is quite enthralled by the chance to compete.
Yes, if you can call it that. I'm somewhat disappointed that they don't allow magic in these duels.
I'm certain it would change things up quite a bit, but at the same time, that comes with its own problems.
All fighting comes with some problem or another. I don't think magic would really change things. It would just take away the privilege of these less educated rural knights. To which Lady Errol seemed to take offense. I'll have you know I have powerful magic as well, Aaron. I'm certain I could defeat you in a fully armed duel if those were the rules. To which Aaron scoffed and looked unimpressed.
You can tell him that Gambold was quite upset about the or about the magic restrictions as well. He's not there, so he can't say it himself, but you might remember that.
So, my own companion was somewhat upset at the lack of magical allowances as well, but what must be done must be done, and you know, if they do ever go about changing it, they'll probably have to change a lot of other things as well.
Yes, I suppose so, Lady Errol said. It's a shame that Lord Rankburn was completely without knowledge of any mystic arts. It colors these proceedings as much as this ridiculous storytelling. But it's still the finest competition in all of the Empire. And so I wouldn't miss it. All right. Uh, did you have any other matters that you wanted to raise with these two before Sir Ulrich came to fetch you with the dusty bottle of something labeled in Elven.
Not really. Although I am curious what this dusty bottle is going to be.
Well, it's sweet. It's thick, and it's alcoholic. It has a sort of a color of partially dried blood.
That's worrisome.
It doesn't taste anything like blood, though. Grape and oak, you're sure. Probably some hints of a variety of things you can't quite place. You drink it from small glasses into the evening, as Sir Ulrich requests more tales of your heroic errands for the Arksmyth.
Well, I will regale him as best I can. Also, I'm
Alright.
sorry for being kind of off. I am
It's been a
trying
while.
that, and I'm trying to navigate this last bit of homework while also doing this.
Part of the reason that it's a struggle for me to do it on Wednesdays, you know. After a long day and another long day the next day, that's just too much to do to be focusing entirely on one thing. Fortunately, Monday is easier. So, we'll skip Sala if we need to. What is Ganbold doing on this dark and stormy night?
Ganbold is out in the rain. He's looking for Gareth of Rossenbach. He has two intentions should he find this knight. He wants to size him up and see who it is that he is up against. And after that, Ganbold plans to engage the knight in a bit of trash talk with the purposes of hopefully putting the knight off his game tomorrow.
All right. The wind howls a little bit. You're here. You're near the edge of a thicket at the base of the mountains. There's There's a tent set up, a space away from the others for a bit of quiet, and another. It's a large tent, a pavilion, and as you approach, a young squire seems to be stepping out. She's surprised to see you, and sort of skeptically looks you up and down. She asks, Ganbold the Orc?
Aye. Is this the tent of Gareth of Rossenbach?
It's not a very good time, she replied. Can roll insight.
Uh, 4. What do you mean by not a good time?
Come back later, she said. Gareth is not prepared for visitors right now.
We have to think for a moment of how Gambold would react to this. It'll only take a minute. Just want to see my competition.
I'm sure he'll be out shortly, she called. Gareth, you have a visitor here. I've told him that you'll be out in a few minutes. I should be going on my errands, she'll say. She'll gather her cloak about her, and her pack and quickly turn to leave.
Gambold will wait a few minutes. Straining his ears to listen to anything unusual going on in the area. But
Nothing but the
watching
howling of wind and the occasional lashing of rain.
Mm.
Gareth does not emerge from his tent for long minutes.
Gambold will raise his voice and say, "I did not know that Sir Gareth of Rosenbach was a coward."
Nothing replied save the howling wind. The tent flapped ominously as a gust of wind seemed to lift part of the side of the pavilion. It fluttered a little bit, but it held, nailed in properly.
All right. I know exactly what's going on, and I'm gonna go right in. I'm gonna fall right into this trap because this is amusing. Gambold, getting confused at this point, steps forward towards the tent. "Gareth of Rosenbach, what is taking you so long? Come out here and face me." And he opens the tent flap and looks inside.
And there lay Gareth of Roseback with a dagger in his chest, seemingly of orcish make.
Exactly as I knew would be the case. Gambold rushes to the knight and will lay on hands and see if he is merely dead or if he is merely dying, or if is he all the way dead or just mostly dead.
He would appear to be quite dead.
Ugh. Gambold stands, contemplates what to do. He steps outside the tent. Or first, I assume that there's no one else in the tent.
That is correct. There's some stuff. There's a locked trunk.
Mhm.
There is, some.
I'm lawful
bags
neutral. I'm
set
not
out.
going to be looting all of the uh, all of the murder site. I didn't even commit this murder. If I had, then that would be different. So, okay. Gambold steps outside the tent. Am I immediately arrested?
No.
Okay. Are there who is around?
Some distance away, you can see that the keg-shaped caravan tavern is closed up. No one's outside of it. There's probably some people there. A fair ways away as well. There's some tents and things set up. You've little doubt that someone would have seen you walking this way, but few people are out. And none seems to have seen you. Seem to be looking directly at you now, or even are visible right now.
Gambold goes to the tavern.
The caravan.
The caravan. Sorry.
All right, it is closed up.
Oh, there's no. Oh.
Presumably, there's some people inside, but they're not attempting to serve beer at the moment. Normally, what they would do is open the side and serve beer right out of the
I see. Gamble bangs on the side.
What is it? Someone comes to the door. It opens it. A bleary-eyed bartender looks you up and down and says,
There's
"Come
been a
for
murder
Oh,
just over there, in the tent. Who all has come and gone this way?
wouldn't know. We've been closed up."
Who are you?
Edwin.
I'm going to go and fetch the whoever's in charge here. Keep an eye on this tent. If anyone comes and goes.
Right. Sir?
Yes. I mean, wait, no, that he wouldn't say that.
Sir,
He
yes.
would. No. I'm not a knight.
All right then. And he sort of pauses and looks at you quizzically as if to fill in the blank.
Gambold is going to go back to whatever, head back towards the castle, and he's going to find a castle guard, a Rankburn knight, someone like that, someone with a position of authority.
All right. Are you heading to fetch one of the local? All right, you head off to fetch one of the local knights.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. You can probably fetch the guy whose name I didn't write down that you fought last week.
All right. I probably did write his name down, but in my notepad document saved on my other computer, so it's not doing me any good because I'm on my trip.
I did not expect you to visit this place tonight. I had a whole you being found in your tent tomorrow and people accusing you scene fared that
Oh.
didn't involve that guy.
I'm sorry, but my entire plan, I've been planning on like going and trash talking my opponents, since I learned that I would have opponents. So, sir, whose name I don't remember.
We'll go with Calvarith of Rankburn.
Calvarith? I can't pronounce that. Say that
Good.
again.
Calvarith.
Calvarith. Sir Calvarith, there has been a murder.
He swallows, looks the orc up and down. Who was murdered? He asked.
My opponent for tomorrow, Gareth of Rossbach. He's in his tent with a dagger in his chest. I tried to heal him, but he is all the way dead.
He breathes out slowly, grumbling sternly. You realize, of course, that with the blood of a dead man on your hands, who is your competitor for tomorrow, you are our primary suspect.
It is worse than that. The murderer used a dagger of orcish make. I have been framed.
Going to have to bring you to the guardhouse. We'll fetch your friends, and we'll see what we can pull together. But for now, I think it would cause a panic to have you out and about.
I understand. When I arrived, there was a girl who left the tent before I entered. She was dressed as a squire, and I gave the full description of what she looked like. You should find this person.
I don't know every knight's squire, but we'll pass it around the guardhouse.
I suspect she was not actually a squire. But I will go with you to the guardhouse.
All right. So it takes a little bit of time to track everyone in the party down, and it looks like we're going to have Sala in a minute or two. Would we like to pause now until Sala gets back and do his night, or do we want to just
Yeah,
proceed on and have the elf be found later?
Yes, let's pause for a moment and have Sala do whatever his character is doing, without knowledge of what has just happened. Nobody tell Sala.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. I'm gonna pause the recording then.